What's up? This is Gen V, Season 1, Episode 1, the pilot. This is the Boys spinoff that's on Amazon. I just watched the first episode. I kind of watch shows like we did back in the old days, where we just watched one at a time. I didn't binge watch. I like spreading them out. I like enjoying series over a period of time. I like it when cliffhangers happen and I don't get the instant gratification of knowing immediately what the next thing is. So that's why you don't ever see me review clusters of episodes. I'm also not being asked to by the streamers. Streamers don't send me their screeners, so it's not like I feel pressured. Maybe if a studio sent me the screener in advance, I would feel pressured to review the episodes sent to me, so that I could get the whole thing out. But that's not happening. So this is what you get. So we are introduced to a spinoff of The Boys. They're expanding the franchise, and they're doing so by introducing us to sort of like the next generation. I love that it's Gen V. It's very referential to the fact that it reminded me of the X-Men and how they had Generation X for a long time, which was, Jubilee was part of Generation X, but they also had a lot of really just sort of odd heroes as part of Generation X. Heroes with very sort of odd superpowers, like Chamber and Maggot were both part of Generation X, and their abilities are bizarre. So, among some of the others, I think like Husk was a Generation X member. Jubilee was like the most normal person that they used her because she was already created and she was young. So they like roped her into Generation X, but then like everybody else who's in Generation X has some weird, bizarre power. And it kind of reminded me of that because the first person with the power, of course, it's the Boys always has to kind of push boundaries. There are people in here with like relatively normal powers that you would find in sort of any superhero film, like right any film with people who have abilities, or a TV show with people who have abilities. There's some of those abilities that are already in here. I've seen the suggestive skin touch type of thing before, where you're able to switch somebody's mind and get them to do what you want them to do before. Yeah, we've seen that done. That's not wildly creative. We've also seen shapeshifters. I will say that I thought this was a creative way of doing a shapeshifter was in this show. So they have like normal ones, and but then of course our lead has the power to control blood, which is a really oddly specific power, and she finds ways as she gets older of making that incredibly useful, which makes her incredibly interesting. But her sort of like origin story is really kind of icky, violent, and unfortunate all at the same time. So she feels like she has to make up for her past, because it didn't her coming out did not go as planned, even though her parents made the choice to give her V when she was a kid. They knew that they were going to try to create a superhero. She mentions that later on in the story that it wasn't like a surprise. They chose it. Well, you get be careful what you wish for. So she's waiting to figure out whether or not she's basically going to be sent away to like a prison, or whether or not she needs to go to college and be part of the superheroes, because I guess they don't just have, once they know that you're powered, you either get locked away or you get to be trained to be a superhero. Two choices. And so luckily her acceptance letter comes through, and she's headed off to college, where she will either be in a track to be a crime fighter, or she'll be in a track to be like a celebrity superhero. And she really wants to be a crime fighter. Sadly, they see her more as being a celebrity superhero on like So You Think You Can Dance, which is, it's sort of mentioned. It's called something else though. There's also Dancing with the Stars, which is mentioned without changing the name. And it's funny that they name drop like certain shows in here, but like not others. There's also, I have to say, this is the deepest cut of the year for any film or television series that I've seen so far. She picks up a roommate, and it's a roommate that can shrink. We find out how she can shrink, and it's kind of gross and unfortunate. But she basically has the same power as the guy that was in the season 3 of The Boys, where she shrinks in size. And she has a little pet hamster, and she calls it David Caruso, which, it's 2023. I don't know what the last thing David Caruso did was, but I feel like it was CSI Miami, which was canceled a long time ago. So of course, naturally, this girl who's young asks the question, "Who's David Caruso?" And the girl responds to her, not NYPD Blue, not CSI Miami, not anything like that. She goes, "Oh my God, you haven't seen Jade?" And I was just like, wow. I didn't see a Jade reference in 2023 coming. I was like blindsided by that one. That one just came out of nowhere and smacked me in the face, and done. Signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. That was such a deep cut. That film did not do well at the box office. It's from like 1995, and it starred David Caruso and Linda Fiorentino, two people that nobody cares about anymore. So the fact that Jade was meant, I know that there are people watching that thinking that Jade isn't even a real film. It's so totally a real film, and David Caruso is a real person, and I love it. That if I had the power, if I was working at Amazon and somebody delivered the pilot to me, I'd have been like, "We're ordering a second season because these writers are brilliant." I immediately would have ordered a second season of this show. I was like, I don't know how you found Jade, but congratulations. That was the most random film reference I think I've seen in a movie or a television series ever. Possibly, considering that the film, I don't even think it made $10 million at the box office. So this girl who's young is obsessed with a film that's older than her and was a box office failure. I love it. It's great. So yes, so she's a huge fan of Jade. What a weird film. But it so pulled me in deeper to the show. Like I got even more involved. And that series kind of we get introduced to other characters. There's like Golden Boy, who's like a Homelander wannabe. But there's something mysterious going on with his past, and we'll probably find out more about it as the series progresses. Episode 1 kind of ends in an interesting way. I am very intrigued to see where we go from here. I won't spoil anything else, but yeah. So the main girl controls blood. That's useful for a series that likes to be ultra violent. So she'll actually be able to do a lot of things. But one of the things she'll definitely be able to do is heal people, because she can put blood back into somebody's body. So if you've got blood loss, she can save your life. She's a lot more useful than they're giving her credit for. And I liked it. It has the same sort of tone as the original series. It's just with a different cast in a new setting. And I think they did a really good job of crafting a spinoff here that works. I have a good feeling that this works. It is as in-your-face violent as the original series is. It's in your face provocative. There's absolutely a masturbation sequence. They do the same thing. I guess every time we have somebody who shrinks down, they got to grab a penis. You know, anybody who can get small has to do something with a penis. That's just going to be the curse of people who shrink. Is some dick needs you to touch their dick, and I guess we're showing it. You know, it's described. So, yep. I think there's a pretty sustained shot of a penis being worked on in this for a while. Anyway, I did like this though. It was a breath of fresh air, and I'm happy. I'm a huge fan of The Boys, and even with shit like that, I'm just like, you know what, feels on brand for them. And they're all about branding. They literally just teach their soups how to do branding. So they're worried about the new girl because she doesn't have Instagram or followers on Instagram. So they're like, well, you're not even on Instagram. It's like, yeah, so. Well, it's all about having followers, apparently. I like it. The audio description obviously was good because I got the gore, I got the penis scene, got that down pat. So that was given to me. Thank you, audio description. And this is good. I recommend it. So I'm going to give Gen V Season 1, Episode 1 an A. Check it out. I'm going to keep recapping this show, and we'll see what happens. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I will be back with Episode 2. I'll try to do Episode 2 before Episode 4 comes out. I'll try to get a little bit more caught up on this. But 3 episodes, that's a lot. I don't want to rush through this series. Got a 3-episode drop. Come on now. Anyway, I will be back and see you guys on the other side. So click that subscribe button and stay with me.